Okay, part two. I had to take my retainer out, and I was running out of time. So I think I left off telling you guys I was gonna start from the end, and I started from the beginning. Menopause brain. Um, yeah. So me and my daughter's father, the barber. Um, like I told y'all, we were good friends. Fast forward, when my son was about 8 or 9, we began to be intimate. He had his second son at that point with his oldest boy's mom, same girl that he was dating. The guy that I was dating, of course, he and I weren't dating anymore. I was dealing with my daughter's father. So, we were just having a lot of back and forth, like just whatever was going on. It was weird when you're in these situationships, guys. You be really arguing and on one like y'all together, and so we were just going through a lot of emotional rocky bull crap. And then when I found out I was pregnant and he was acting crazy and fronting on me and just treating me horribly. Um, and I'm not going to say I was being petty or out of spite. I was hurt. I was pregnant. There's no excuses. That's what I was going through. Here I have this child that this man has been in my life for all these years that I thought so highly of, betrayed me, right? And I called the girl. I'm pretty sure, I think I called her to tell her what was going on and that I was keeping my baby. I can't remember if that's how it went because she and I talked a couple of times. But anyway, once she found out, fast forward, he's really pissed and he's acting like, he hates me. But all the dirt he did to me, I was just supposed to accept it. So that's the other thing, guys. When people treat you a certain way, they don't get to tell you how to feel. Just like he didn't get to tell me how to feel, I didn't get to tell him how to feel. But the thing is, I've always been accountable for me. I was rah-rah. I was a fighter. Like, I'm all that. But as you grow and mature, you would hope people elevate and become a sense of self. Create a greater sense of self and mature. Well, that is what happened for me now that I'm 47. Well, he's 48, and I'm not sure how the kid's mom is. She's in her 30s. And that's not what happened with them, I guess. But anyway, so I tell her he's on the BS, but he's still, playing games. And me and the lady talked, and she was like, whatever we do for the girl. Like, she was like, it seemed like she and I were just on some adult stuff. And he was on some, she'll have things speaking to my daughter, she'll have things at my house. And so he act like, okay, I'm going to be there. It'll just be me and the lady he was with at the time. They weren't married. Were they married? He got married when I was pregnant. I was 5 months pregnant, I think, when he got married. Y'all, it was just hell. It was just fighting and arguing and back and forth, crazy stuff. Everybody did what they did. It was just dirt on both sides. Everybody emotional and crazy. But of course, it was all me. Let everybody tell it. But the people who were in the picture that saw everything that was going on, they're not running to the place saying, no, China didn't do this until he did that. Or, nobody took up for me. And if any of you ladies, I was born in July, baby. I'm a Cancer. I can't stand for nobody to lie on me. If you're going to tell what happened, tell what you did and then how I reacted. Does it make it right that I cut up and cussed and fought? It don't. But that's how I felt at the time. And you don't get to treat me dirty and badly and tell me how to react. So, guys, I can tell y'all everything this man has ever did to me to create your own opinion. But ladies, gentlemen, if y'all have ever been with someone who has done you dirty and then flipped it all on you, like you just woke up one day and acted a donkey, y'all know where I'm going with this. So, had the baby. Again, fighting back and forth, arguing, nobody seeing eye to eye. He pretty much abandoned me, never did anything for my daughter. I asked him for $500 for child care. My daughter was born in '08. Child care was like $125 a week. Back then, I worked in corporate every day. The baby needed daycare. He said it'll go through the courts. I didn't put child support on him. He put it on himself. But I did have a relationship with like his mom, his sister, his grandmother. But his sister only came around when she wanted something. His brother came around being decent. Never the barber, her dad. So once he put himself on child support, it was to get a blood test because people are in my ear. People are in his ear. So I guess he thought, oh, well, I prove this ain't my baby. And you all know, younger ladies, I'm sorry, but the hood boogers and the like, y'all have seen them. That ain't your baby. You better go get a blood test. I don't know if that's what was going on, but he got his blood test. Bam, she's yours, like I already knew. So that backfired. Now he's on child support, which he did that himself. I did not do. The grandmother, rest her soul, then tells me that me or my baby was no longer welcome at her house. Y'all didn't bring my baby a sock, a nip, a pamper. You're upholding wrong, right? And in the South, everybody likes to say, you know, grandmothers and mothers and matriarchs of the family. I'm not going to, you know, speak on this dead lady and say she wasn't a good person, but you guys determine what you determine. This was his grandmother watching everything that he had done, right? And upholding the wrong. And mothers, fathers, people do this BS. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. So anywho, fast forward past that, I was pissed. Like, everybody is seeing all the dirty SHIT he's done to me, and I'm the problem, right? I tried to be nice. I tried to be all the things, but I've never been a pushover. I've always tried to be nice and a lover of people. But when people do me dirty, I did have a tendency to pop off back then. So anyway, dang, this thing is timing me out almost again. So anyway, fast forward, we went through all the bull crap to me asking him to just be there for her. I would lower the child support, even though I didn't put it on him. I said, we can go to court, or I can give you a couple of $100 back every month. Just be there for my daughter. He said he had to talk to the baby mama. I said, okay. Baby probably was a year old at the time, maybe a year or two. And he hadn't done anything, seen her, nothing. He had taken me back and forth to court to get his child support lowered. But they raised it because they were like, well, why aren't you there for her? Why haven't you seen her? Those aren't the exact words, but the judges would talk to the absent parents and let them know how much the kids needed them. And one judge, I remember, she or he, but we had two different judges that were really on him, like, you know, why haven't you been there? This man looked at them people and said, no reason. My lawyer was like, man, he like out to lunch or something. Where you get this man from? This is not the man that I met, guys. Like I told y'all in part 1, he turned into a whole nother person, or his true colors came out, right? So, never heard from him. 3 days later, I said, hey, you know, what's up? He said, I'm going to do what I've been doing. Meaning, he did not want to get the child support modified and actually be in my daughter's life. He would keep paying the child support and stay absent. Everybody was saying, oh, that's that girl, that's that girl. It don't matter. He was her father. I'll be back again, y'all. This thing timing me out.